I don't know anything. You think I watched Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Phantom Lego.
Is that how we're starting this episode off?
Sure, why not? Hey everybody, welcome to episode 28 of The Critical Spectrum. This is Side B, our season 2,
oh, shit.
our grand return.
What the hell is season 3 going to be called?
Side 3D, because it's like
shit.
3D dimension.
Well, it'll be our...
We go into their house, their listener's house, and record. It's 4D.
That's the sophomore
we whisper
album.
in their ear.
Yeah.
That's the sophomore album.
Wouldn't that be junior? Because that's like the third year.
Oh yeah, the June. Well, no, because what I was thinking is because it's side B because we flipped over.
So we're finishing the first record.
Finishing the first record and moving on to the second record. Yeah, that's how I was thinking about it.
I'm with you now.
Thank you. My name is Matthew Lundeen. I am joined here by...
Don't you fucking do that. Don't you cut out the Magnus. You better put that in.
I was very
He literally
jarred.
went Matthew
I was shook.
Lundeen.
I was shook.
I'm shooken to my core.
Did I always say Magnus?
You did.
100% you always said Magnus.
Okay, yeah, I would. Got him. Right. Hi, my name is Matthew Magnus Lundeen, and welcome to the Critical Spectrum, and I'm joined here by...
Michael Murkia.
Colin Steele.
Colin McClure Steele.
Oh!
What's your middle name? It was something boring, wasn't it?
Wow, fuck you. Yeah, it was Tyler.
Yeah. I actually like that.
Oh, it's not boring anymore.
I couldn't remember it.
See, it was because my grandpa wanted to call me Ty.
Hey, yo,
But
Ty.
my grandmother won because she wanted Michael. So, and then he still tried to call me Ty. I never fucking listened to him.
At that moment, Matthew shared a story that he'd rather not repeat.
Like from Digimon.
Mm-hmm. I was having a conversation at work today because me and my coworker we were talking about like episodes of kids shows that were like fucked up and like how like there'd always be like one like every kids show that you watched there'd always be at least one episode that was like kind of weird and like kind of like probably not for kids
All of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah. That was essentially emblematic of the entire phenomenon. But like we were talking about how there was a Power Rangers episode that was basically Alien. Or how, well, funnily enough, kind of like how Cowboy Bebop had an episode that was basically Alien.
True.
And
but that one makes more sense because they're in fucking space.
Yeah, but it still was a weird turn.
I mean,
for the show at that
at
point.
least they're in space.
But then I brought up how writer and unfortunately crazed conspiracy theorist Chiaki J. Kanaka, who wrote such things as Serial Experiments Lane and The Big O. He wrote...
What's such, like, stark difference in names?
Yeah.
You have this long-ass name about Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then you have The Big O. Like Cheerio. He likes cereal. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting at this.
But he also wrote all of Digimon Tamers, which among people who have watched Digimon and watched it when they were younger, revere that as the show that had the most weird episodes. Because you have a guy who... I mean, this is a guy who writes lots of very weird speculative sci-fi, and also decided to give himself the middle initial J just because he thought it made him sound cooler. Which, admittedly, Chiaki J. Kanaka sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
But he like wrote Serial Experiments Lane, which was like, it's one of those shows that came out in the 90s that like predicted the internet like a little too well. Like predicted like what it was going to be like.
Maybe he had insider information.
Maybe.
A meme fest.
The memes?
That's why 90s sci-fi is like one of my favorites because
you could actually see the fruits of like their theories now.
Uh-huh.
You're
Absolutely.
like, how ridiculous does that sound? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, it's real.
That's why like The Matrix and like Ghost in the Shell are so fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's why the third Back to the Future is so good.
That's the one where they're in the Wild West.
Oh right? Fuck, second Back to the Future.
I was wondering where
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, you haven't?
I haven't seen any Back to the Future.
First one's good. Second one's also good. I never watched
the third one. Third one's pretty good.
My parents, like, we were watching all of them together, and then my parents were like, You can watch it if you want. And I was like, I don't.
Didn't you hear they're bringing back the DeLorean as an electric car?
I don't care.
Me either.
I want a street legal version of the Batmobile from the new Batman.
I feel like that's pretty easy, except for the jet engine part.
Yeah, but I'm not even the jet engine. I just need the red lights and like the.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like it'd be. I think that'd be easy.
Yeah.
It might be kind of expensive, but I think it'd be
especially if they
easy.
can give me the bulletproof windows too.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, technically, the Cybertruck has fucking.
That's true.
Supposed to. Have,
but remember, like the demonstration that
okay,
Tesla did.
According to them, they were testing it beforehand to make sure that it wasn't gonna break.
Right.
And then they must have already fucking messed with the structural integrity because they kept fucking throwing shit at it, and then they ended up breaking it.
But anyway, Chiaki J. Kanaka wrote Serial Experiments Lane, which was all about this girl, like, basically kind of merging with the internet. And then, like, and the internet, as it was at the time, it was, yeah, basically. I love how you're like Scarlett Johansson in Ghost in the Shell, not, it's like Ghost in the Shell, the 1995 film.
Yeah, I was totally talking about Ghost in the Shell and that other weird.
No, but that wasn't her merging with the internet. That was.
I've never seen it. I just assumed it was something weird like that.
That was just her brain.
Reaching enlightenment.
Like they used her as a drug mule, and the drug
that she
had.
Lucy, by the way.
Yeah, and the drug that she had, and the drug she had inside her was
so
like
limitless, but not limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one that starts with an L.
It was limitless except.
So Ghost in the Shell.
Yes. God damn.
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't bleep a lot of like 2 parts.
No, we'll be fine. Nah, we'll be good.
She's done. She's paid her dues. The point is, Jackie J. Knock did some weird shit, and I actually loved a lot of it. Big O, I thought was phenomenal. It was on Toonami. It actually did so.
Like Honey Nut Cheerios. Sorry, continue.
I was thinking that Sandra Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't she do a show?
Yeah.
Yeah, called The O or something like that.
Who?
Sandra Oh.
Who the fuck is Sandra?
Grey's Anatomy lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
still know that. I never watched
And
Grey's
Killing
Anatomy.
Eve.
Oh, still haven't watched
Yeah.
that. I don't know at all.
Neither have I.
I just know the actress name.
But anyway, he did the Big O, which did really poorly in Japan, but it had such a good following in the U.S. thanks to Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network straight up funded the second season. And then they just let Chiaki J. Kanaka do whatever the hell he wanted, and so he made one of the best finales I've ever seen ever.
I thought you were gonna say he let him do whatever he wants. And got weird as fuck.
And I actually really liked him, and I even followed him on Twitter for a while. And then they did a special reunion event for Digimon Tamers.
I remember you telling me. I think about this
it was so bad, and it was so bad that at the beginning of the video released online, the translation group that translated it had a message that's like, the translation group does not condone the views expressed within. It was like the voice actors on stage doing like one of those stage readings that they sometimes do, like we brought the cast do like an audio CD. It was like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the story they were reading was such garbage. It was literally like Chiaki, his mind, he's gone crazy. Like he literally was just
so
it's like we're in the Digiverse and we have to fight cancel culture. And it was so, like, it was just boomer conspiracy theorist shit. It's like, oh, come on, you were so much smarter than this before. And it was just really bad. And people were not happy about it. And now I'm like, and then I unfollowed him on Twitter.
You're like, why did I do this?
Why did I do this? Still, Big O, great show. Buy it on Steelbook Blu-ray. It's amazing.
You know what else is the Big O? The big Lego.
Oh.
Wow, that was a hell of a transition.
Wait.
Colin has been playing.
Slapper.
I have been unable to finish Elden Ring because I keep trying, and then there's this barrier that's just like pushing me back.
My barrier is the fact that I haven't seen everything in the game yet.
Right.
I literally have. I'm still in the. I think I said this last time. I'm still in Limgrave, Caelid, and fucking like Salernia because I still haven't found everything in there yet. Oh. I'm finally going to Ranny, where the fuck your name is.
Hell yeah. But the joke being that like Colin, like I go in there and I think maybe I'll ask him, but he's looking at he's having so much fun, and then he'll look at me and be like, you don't want to play Elden Ring right now.
Yeah.
This is not the TV you're looking for.
This is not the TV you're looking for.
You have a TV in your room?
I do.
He does, but then he has
But
to
it's not
hear.
as nice.
But then he has to hear the little shit downstairs.
Oh, he's yelling Jesus at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just praising the Lord, man. Leave him alone. He's just really into
loves
it.
God,
yeah, he really loves that man, Jesus, the J-man.
But Colin has been playing a shit ton of the Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
It's not like there's a lot to do. What is there, like 3,000 mini kits to find or some shit?
Actually, I
think
already
there
have
is.
like half of the Kyber bricks. Yeah, it's not that hard.
No, I'm talking about mini kits.
They do have mini kits, but granted, I haven't 100% the story level because I'm waiting to get all the characters I want before I go back.
The first time I saw him playing it, he was in what I assume was the episode 1 part of the game, trying to do a puzzle that looked really difficult, and I was like, as a kid, I probably would have already abandoned that puzzle.
I'm telling you, they don't care about it. They literally said, "Fuck them kids. This isn't for them anymore."
I mean, the kids could do it, but I could definitely see like a younger kid not being able to figure out the simpler puzzles.
Did you ever figure out that puzzle in the Jar Jar world, the Gungan underworld, or whatever?
Which puzzle?
The one that was like the fucking button things or whatever. You had to like.
Oh yeah, that was a dumb one.
That was it.
The sequence of the lights had to be in was under the platform.
See, I told you it was around it.
No, I
just told you in the wrong place.
But Lego Star Wars, great game.
For babies.
Game for
unlike Elden Ring.
No,
Elden
opposite was the
babies,
joke. Come on,
I fucked up the joke.
The Lego Star Wars is for true gamers.
Yeah, Elden Ring is for babies. The fuck is wrong with you over there?
It's an ant.
I'm like, it's just a fucking ant.
I know, but it spooked me. I was like,
you thought it was a spooter?
I thought it was a spooter.
If it was a spooter, that would have been.
I did think it was a spooter. Get on the
Hey, you like Spooderman? You should like Spooters.
No.
I always thought about
works?
I always thought about that as a kid. I was like, why do I not have an issue with?
Why?
Because you're in my way.
Why did he drop?
Yeah, he probably did.
I'm pretty sure he fell.
Whatever. At least it's not a spooter.
That I know of.
But yeah, so in Lego Star Wars, it lets you choose what order you want to play the trilogies in, right? Mm-hmm. Where you could go fucking backwards.
You should have did the machete order,
which is what 4, 5, 2, 3, whatever. 6.
Yeah, I think it's 4, 5, 2, 3, 6.
I like that. Yeah,
but it's chopping off one though. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Which in the games might be terrible because pod racing in games is fun. The movie is terrible.
I've hated pod
racing.
Really?
Oh, in the games I thought it was fun.
It sounds like someone never played Star Wars.
Pod racing? Isn't that what it's called?
Or no, what was it called? It was like Gungan Racers.
Oh, I've fucking heard of that. Gungan Racers?
Oh no.
If it doesn't have my boy, what the fuck's that guy's name?
Who?
The guy that tries to kill Anakin as a child.
Sebulba?
If it doesn't have Sebulba,
I'm more of a Salacious Crumb man myself.
Excuse me?
He didn't even know who Salacious Crumb was.
I don't even know who the fuck Salacious Crumb is.
Monkey thing for Jabba. Jabba's monkey thing.
He's the guy from Jabba's palace. He's like,
he like laughs. Look up Salacious Crumb right now.
I need to see it now. The only thing I'm thinking of is
Super Bombad Racing. That's the one.
That sadly
what the
exists,
fuck?
Yes.
It's a PlayStation 2 game. It's $13. I don't think it's.
And it's got like big-headed versions.
Malls? What the fuck?
No manual included.
Get this out of here.
Get that shit
out of my
fucking
face.
All right,
Salacious Crumb.
I don't even know how to.
It's an A.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure.
It's a C. There you go. Yeah.
Oh my god, that you could have just said the guy who looks like he's from Gremlins.
I mean, you're right.
Monkey, that motherfucker looks like a rat.
It's a rat monkey. I don't know.
Imagine getting to like accurate replica. Imagine taking a picture next to Salacious
and looking that happy.
Yeah.
I'd look that happy. You kidding me?
Yeah. He legitimately looks like he should be from Gremlins.
Colin was very impressed. I knew who Salacious Crumb was,
and I also knew who Tarful was.
I also knew who Tarful was.
Oh, I know that name. Why can't I put that? Why can't I put a face
to
it?
What race does it sound like? It's from episode 3. Who is he?
Matt did a spot on Yoda impression.
I did. Yeah. He met Yoda.
What?
Episode 3. Remember?
Oh, Wookiee.
Yeah, he's a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Right before Yoda.
Isn't he the
leaves.
chieftain?
Right before Yoda.
Come on, man, you know who Tarful is? The boy.
Right before Yoda leaves the planet on the escape, I was like, "Goodbye, Tarful."
Yeah. Goodbye, Chewbacca.
Goodbye, Tarful. And then he fucks off to
Dagobah. To the Dagobah system.
Yeah.
Oh no. Doesn't he go to Coruscant?
No,
I think he does
go to
to
Coruscant
fight
first,
yeah.
right.
and then he leaves.
And then he fucks up after Obi-Wan. Yeah, then he fucks up.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Tarful.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at it. It's like when I was doing Christopher Walken last week. There was a couple of business partners coming from across state lines into the office from the company that we work with at our team. And I was thinking...
It kind of sounds like a mix of Colonel Sanders and Christopher Walken. Have you ever seen...
I'm crying.
Well, The Rundown? Have you ever seen that movie?
The Rundown?
It has The Rock and Christopher
and...
Walken. I don't remember what the fuck that dude's name is.
Was it...
Is it Billy something? Something Billy?
The Rundown. I remember...
No. His name is Billy in the movie.
The Rundown.
Come on, I don't know what his name is.
6.6. Ooh.
It has Claire in it.
Oh, that guy, Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
The Rundown.
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm remembering now. There was a YouTuber. I don't remember who they were, but I know that they had like a bit where they were talking about like how good they'd be like, oh yeah, like The Rock in The Rundown.
Honestly, The Rundown was pretty good.
Like Dwayne Johnson in The Rundown.
I'd watch it again.
It's weird seeing The Rock with hair.
That is Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a I like how I said Claire. It's Ahsoka.
It's Ahsoka.
I knew her as Claire first. OGs know her as Claire.
Uh-huh.
That's
Daredevil.
her from Daredevil. Yeah.
Basically the night nurse.
I would know her.
But technically, Colin, not Colleen. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would know her as the girl
Lady
from
from
Men in
Dr.
Black
Strange.
2.
She's in Men in Black 2.
Yeah, she's the love interest in Men in Black 2.
All right, you're going back. Excuse me. Point is, she's Claire. She's night nurse, but not. Because night nurse is Doctor Strange's girlfriend.
I loved when Defenders came out and someone was like, yes, the 4 Defenders. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Claire.
No Iron Fist?
No Iron Fist. Because he was unconscious.
He's a piece of shit.
Anyway, Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka. Star Wars.
Ahsoka's not in Lego.
Let me tell you about that. I'm just mad she's... they're focusing on live action stuff. But
she's in live action now.
She is, yeah. And they had her in the Force Awakens game, which I was like, what the fuck?
Is there gonna be a bonus level set in like Clone Wars?
I wish.
When she had that weird outfit that like Lucas was like oddly like insistent that had to be
tank top.
Yeah, very oddly
this prepubescent teen requires a tank top.
Yeah, that was a little odd. Yeah, I didn't like that.
You know, the girls these days they dress like whores. You gotta put. That's my George Lucas.
Yeah,
that's my George Lucas impression. It's like poetry, you know, it rhymes.
Tank tops and whores.
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 As
like a horse.
As Frank
Either way, they both get ridden.
There's a video of Seth Green getting like George Lucas gets angry and like kicks him out of a meeting.
Oh, I've seen that actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us about the fucking video game.
Yeah, come on, man. Christ. Jesus.
Fuck, you guys made me lose my fucking train of thought.
Who do you think The Rock would play in Star Wars?
He'd play a Wookiee. He'd put on a costume.
Wow.
So
I don't know. I feel like there's no like actually like bulked up Jedi.
You could tell me that he was like he made a cameo in Book of Boba Fett as that one Wookiee, and I would have believed you. If you just like after the post credits scene, he takes it off, he sits down, takes off the helmet.
Hey
Hey everyone, I'm not going to be in the final Fast and Furious movie.
Continue.
I had it and I lost it.
Sorry, I just looked at The Rock. We were talking about Star Wars.
Let me close this page.
He's in DC and he's probably going to be in Marvel.
Okay. So the developers are like, oh, we have 300 characters, which I mean, technically that's true. But at the same time, a lot of those are just skins for the same.
They just
character.
have Anakin 1, Anakin 2, Anakin 3.
Although they went to the lengths of having Trevorrow Hood, and I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Who is that?
Hey, Jeremy, put that up.
I know for the fact his last name's Hood. I could be wrong on his first name, but I looked him up. Apparently, he's a guy who showed up for a split second in one of the hallway running scenes of Empire Strikes Back.
What the fuck? See, like, how are they gonna have that and not have Ahsoka? That makes no fucking sense.
Trevorrow Hood.
No, Trevorrow was Trevorrow was.
What? We were about to click on Trevorrow's script because of Colin Trevorrow.
Colin Trevorrow.
Look up. Dude, I don't fucking know.
Did you hear that they had an image from New Jurassic World that Colin Trevorrow is writing, and it was of like the new dinosaur. And the tweet that was like the news article about it, it was funny as shit ever. It just was literally, it's like Colin Trevorrow compares this new
Willow Hood.
Willrow Hood.
Colin
Trevorrow compared Willow Hood.
Willrow Hood.
Willrow Hood. I'll complete that.
Yeah, look at that. Literally, the image is just one of the running scenes from fucking Empire.
From Empire?
Yeah.
This guy had a name?
Yeah.
He had an action
it's
figure?
Lando. Look, it lands Lando in that shot.
He's got a beer gut.
Yeah, what the he could be pregnant, leave him alone. What the actual... How are they going to have this motherfucker and not have Ahsoka?
Do you think that when did Empire come out?
They're an alien race.
1980. Do you think that George Lucas was progressive enough to say, like, this man is a female to male transsexual?
It doesn't have to be a transsexual if they're
who
alien.
happened to conceive a child either before or during the transition process.
It could be like Fairly Odd Parents, where the males get pregnant.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of that, huh?
It's so funny to think about that and then to realize that the creator is transphobic. It's so sad.
Yeah, maybe the creator, but he might have left by the time they did that, because that was like a long time into the show.
Man, fuck Butch Hartman. Alright,
Tara Strong, though.
Oh yeah, but let me look up the Jurassic World Dominion.
You could continue Lego Star Wars while he looks up Jurassic World Dominion.
Overall, great game. I get it. Some of the story levels are super short, though, which I get because they have to fucking fit in 9 movies into one game.
They could have just did 6.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate... Sorry, continue. I'll continue it later.
No, I mean, it's fun. It's definitely one of those games you just fucking zone out at the end of a work day, though. It's not hard. It's not.
Well, yeah, and it's not like you're like getting like like really into the story. Like you've already seen the story like 20 times probably at this point. I mean,
but although the humor is pretty goofy, and that's really fun.
Yeah, that's the charm of the Lego. You know, while Matt's doing fucking like level 3 fucking research over here.
I just want to find the tweet because the tweet
makes it.
Oh god, it's so perfect.
The voice acting pretty spot on, but few iffy.
I heard about the guy who was amazing at playing Kylo Ren. They have yet to find a good alternative to Adam Driver.
No one can do it. No one can do it. No one can do it as well as him.
Battlefront was awful.
Oh,
it wasn't like super terrible, but it was not great at all.
Huh.
I kind of want to hear the difference between what you're talking about and Battlefront.
Look up fucking Kylo Ren.
I'm looking up so many things right now. You just gotta bear with me.
One day I'll actually look up the name of the guy that Joe wrote.
Oh yeah. Director Colin Trevorrow has joked to Empire magazine that Jurassic World Dominion's new dinosaur, the Giganotosaurus is like the Joker, telling them it just wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah, I've seen that quote, yeah.
It's so fucking terrible.
What the fuck? They've gone too far with Jurassic fucking
World. What did you want me to look up?
Look up fucking the Kylo Ren voice for Lego Star Wars.
Oh yeah, we're gonna listen to this shit together.
I'm gonna have to listen to. They're probably gonna have like a breakdown of all.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's in Resistance, so I'm wondering how his voice actor is.
Is he in Resistance?
I'm 90% sure he's in Resistance.
No one watched Resistance.
I know, but I want to know what his voice is like. What if they use the same voice actor?
Maybe. I mean, they use the Clone Wars actors, so.
Yeah. I want to.
Except they're good. Yeah. Shit, got
him. Gonna mute ourselves for this. Let's just go right. Okay, well, I don't know how else to...
Wait. Look at the unique dialogue. Go up.
I just want to hear him say something.
Okay. Well, we're going to mute ourselves real quick.
We'll be back.
Here, actually, I'm gonna Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute us again, and so you can kind of hear how this sounds.
Finally fighting side by side.
Don't get used
The point is
that whole part's getting cut.
Yeah, but he sounds shitty.
He's the worst.
He sounds pretty bad.
Luke's on the board. He's all right.
Oh,
Luke's all right.
Yeah.
But, well, that's why I feel like Lego games are meant to be played with no subtitle or like no voices.
Well,
but like this one, you have to.
I want to put on mumble mode, but
just beat it all and then do mumble.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like
they got the Han Solo one down because, as Matt explained, he's got the. And for those of you who can't see, I'm doing like an air chop.
Oh yeah, you gotta when you're doing a Harrison Ford impression, you gotta like point.
You gotta point at him. Listen here, kid. I'm
a guy in the
upset.
Germa string who's just like Charleston Chew.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I feel like instead of doing Skywalker Saga, they should have just did what they technically did at the time of the old Lego Star Wars game, which was the complete saga.
Right.
It just did everything at the time, at least.
Yeah.
They should have just did like the extra complete saga or some shit.
Yeah.
It just included everything. Clone Wars, like they should have just did everything.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but I'd pay $80 for that shit.
I mean, they did make a Clone Wars, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars.
I want it all in one game, bud.
And look,
I want to play through it all in one game.
They'll probably have a Clone Wars DLC
They
at some
should,
point.
but maybe they won't. Who knows?
Have we already been going for an hour?
No, 28 minutes. No, it's not an hour.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because that looks.
I thought it starts at like an hour for some reason.
I don't think that's how that. I don't think that's how.
That's how Logic Pro works.
So,
Oh, then maybe that's what it
Maybe
is.
it's-
Alright.
okay.
We'll probably go on a break soon.
yeah. Point is,
Good game.
you're gonna have to cut.
Good game.
Yeah.
He was trying to record.
We have
Just look up Lego fucking Star Wars with Adam Driver's
yeah,
voice.
Just look it up. I had a problem, which was that we were using Adobe Audition previously because that's been work. I've been using that for years to record podcasts and other various things that we've done in the realm of talking about nerdy shit, but the cost was just getting too much, so I'm switching from Adobe Creative Cloud and saving myself $600 and instead just using DaVinci Resolve for video and audio editing, and I'll probably find a solution for Photoshop and Illustrator soon.
Yeah, fine. I'm just something. She's paint.
Yeah.
I had to go through and look up what fonts we were using for all of the different visual elements. Yeah, and also I had to export, like, okay, I'm going to do black version, I'm going to do white version, I'm going to do transparent, I'm going to do the side B versions, so that when I eventually update,
You should have just did every single version you possibly could.
I didn't do like a black and white version, but I could probably just color correct that shit.
Yeah.
So it's been a hassle, but we're back and we're going to be doing fun stuff for a while.
One quick interjection I want to quickly say about Lego Star Wars again. One cool thing is all the lightsaber characters, they try to model each combo move set off of the lightsaber form they use.
I will say that's fucking cool.
Which is pretty dope.
That's why I'm saying this game is not for children. Children would not notice that.
No.
They'll be like, "Oh, he's actually a little
real-
different."
okay.
Only true men
Star Wars fans
would get it.
No.
Not those infant children that play Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring's for babies.
It's literally a baby's game.
Well, I can just use Lorez Grapo and I win. It's fucking too easy.
Okay, yeah, but that's you.
I'm kidding.
It does kind of make me a little sad. Not too sad, but like I do sometimes think like, are we making Star Wars too difficult to like get into for the kids?
No.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck the
No, I'm just kidding. I mean,
like they can still enjoy the game. They just won't get the little.
yeah, I mean,
intricacies.
how do you besides just showing them the movies, it's hard to get kids into stuff like that, I feel like. Yeah. Otherwise, you could show them the Clone Wars, which is basically...
thankfully, like... God, to be a kid who likes Star Wars now, and to just, like... to just grow up and watch Star Wars, and probably the only reason you're watching is because either a new movie is in theaters or your parents are Star Wars fans. But adults who like Star Wars, it's like being a Targaryen. You flip a coin whether you're fucking crazy or not. And
at least the Mandalorian has been consistently
I know.
Good. And Book of Boba was good. Overall, it was good.
Like it.
I think people hate on it too much.
No, yeah. I mean, it's good.
It does.
I like it.
It has weak points.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's like a perfect show.
It's not as strong as Mandalorian, but it's still good.
But it's still good, yeah.
There's good stuff. I don't know. I feel, honestly, I'm a little jealous of being a kid now with Star Wars existing.
We got Clone Wars, bro.
I
know.
What do
they have?
I know they had.
Seen it, though.
I know, I still haven't. But I'm saying a kid who has Disney, whose parents bought Disney Plus, they can watch literally everything and completely unmolested by the toxic discourse online that'll tell some little girl, it's like, you don't really like Rey. and it's just like, she got lightsabers. She's cool.
True.
See,
that's the thing, is that the kids these days, I get what you're saying, because like they are going to grow up and just watch 1 through 9. Mm-hmm. But the only thing is, they're going to watch 1 through 9 and be like, well, 4, 5, 6 are boring. Fuck those kids who say that.
But I thought that when I was a kid.
They'll say 4 is boring. 5 and 6 are...
4 is boring, actually. I can't lie. 4 is boring.
But when I was a kid, I also thought the prequels were better because they were newer. It was always
That's because I also watched the original first.
It was only when I got older that I was like, Empire is pretty pog. And then and therefore I from then on I was like, oh yeah, the prequels.
I guess that's true.
Awesome.
You just like the flashy stuff until you get older and
that's realize... That's actually pretty true.
Yeah. You realize that you're dumb and you're like, actually it turns out this shit.
Because it's like, well, this one, they've got, like 2 people with lightsabers. If I go and watch this one, Attack of the Clones, that's got, 20 people in one scene that's got lightsabers.
And he doesn't like sand.
Speaking of sand, going back to Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
The expression on Anakin's face will be like, calm, but if you're on Tatooine, just the permanent scowl.
I love that, actually. It's actually great. Is there actually a killing the younglings mission?
No, there's not.
Okay, because I've seen so many things online of people setting it up where it's evil, because they have Revenge of the Sith.
Well, hold on. Is there a mission where you kill the Tuscans?
There is, actually.
That's fucked. That's devastating. I don't
the
like
women
that.
And the children too.
Yeah. But we won't show you killing human children.
No,
that's too fucked.
I love all the memes.
We can kill the Middle Eastern
because they're not
metaphor.
Real. Okay, true. Actually, yeah, but I'm saying I'm not saying the Middle East isn't real. I'm just saying the Tuscans aren't real. So if you show people,
this film is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters.
Jesus.
Oh, nice.
Listen. I just like all the memes where it's Hayden just came on set one day to talk about how he slaughtered a whole village, and I kept rolling.
Your hand on my ass. Remember from Little Italy?
Oh my god. Yeah. That movie looks so bad.
What, you afraid of getting a little wet?
Stop. Oh my god. They stole that from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
Did they?
Well, probably not with that accent.
Not with that accent.
Yeah, that.
Well, it was Davy Jones that said it.
Yeah.
Afraid to get wet, whatever.
Dude, someone on Twitter.
That sounded like Borat.
Dude, someone on Twitter posted a video of the scene from Dead Man's Chest when the 3 of them are having the sword fight, and there's the spinning the water wheel rolling.
Mm-hmm.
God, those movies are so good.
Yeah.
Look, a water wheel.
And with that,
we're gonna take a break. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Maybe
soon.
more Lego Star Wars. I don't know. We'll keep going back.
It'll be something.
It's just part of the Matrix. It's Mandela effect.
Something like that.
People just keep talking about it, but it actually.
I have no idea what's gonna pop. Okay, thank God it wasn't porn. All right.
I mean, I don't know. That one down there looks surprisingly close. Oh.
Okay. That's public.
This is where it is.
That's public transit.
Yeah. Oh, that's public transit.
That's
some sort of transit.
Something's getting transited.
Yeah.
That
STDs.
there's actually a really funny Dojin once where it was like, you know how like school, you know how like in anime there's always like the school festivals where it seems like every class has some like weird gimmick that they're doing, like the maid cafe. There was one where the whole premise was this guy shows up and he's just got a drink and he's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And it was like, "Oh, we have a." Oh God, I'll bleep this if it basically it was like the whole thing. It was a stationary train car, and then just a bunch of people. Oh, sorry, the train moved. It's like nothing moved. What are you talking about?
We're not on a train.
The problem is it's an all boys school. Just waiting with hope in their hearts and their balls. Guys, if they drink, it's like we have all you can drink milk, and then he just throws the wig pissed off. It's gonna be like a Bridgerton thing where it's like it's classical music, but I'm explaining it.
Okay,
bitch.
Whoa.
It's Downton Abbey, but not Downton Abbey.
But with more people of color.
Still haven't watched that.
And a lot more sex.
Ooh.
And basically,
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you'd like it.
It's 1700s Game of Thrones. Not
No.
actually.
No,
but...
not even remotely. Not even remotely is it like Game of Thrones. It's basically it's a bunch of it's high society folks at this British like mansion, the Bridgerton estate, and like season 1 and 2 kind of have different casts and different love stories, but like the first one I think is this it's this like really hot black dude and this like high society girl, but they're both high society. But then the second season, it's like this girl from India, and falling in love with some like just stupidly hot prince guy.
What does that to do with the music?
What I was getting to is that they have music that it's modern pop music, but composed using a period. Instruments of the period, exactly. Well, actually, no. Great Gatsby, they just straight up played new music.
They straight up played like Kanye or whatever the fuck was going on.
Yeah, but they did like Wrecking Ball in the style of like ball music.
I feel like I would hate that.
I feel like I would actually.
It actually sounded pretty good. We'll look it up afterward. I watched Trixie and Katya react to it on on the Netflix YouTube channel, and it was pretty funny. Sorry, I was looking at the audio levels because I burped, but I had my mouth closed. But I saw the levels rise, and I was like, "Did it seriously hear it from over
good,
here?"
man. It's that good.
It's got
that
good.
top-notch fucking equipment.
HyperX.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest doujin you've ever read?
None.
I don't.
What?
The Sword Art Online one.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really count.
That wasn't so much a doujin. That was
actually canon technically.
Technically,
because it was wrote by the
and you were just reading it. That was basically like a chapter of a novella.
Yeah, it literally is.
We voice acted it together over Skype.
I remember that.
I was awesome.
It was
obviously.
It was.
God, what a slut I am.
It was literally written by Reki Kawahara.
Yeah. Well, he tried to deny it. He tried to deny that
it was fucking him.
It was him.
He tried to deny it, but it's literally like his like pseudonym he was using online, I think. And he literally it was like the Lost Chapter or some shit.
You don't have to say pseudonym. You can just say pseudonym.
Pseudonym. Isn't that pseudonym? Is it pseudonym?
Pseudonym. It should be pseudo.
What's nim? Does nims mean name?
Sure.
I don't know. It's
because pseudo means fake.
Look, Colin's
so does nim mean name?
Every time the English language comes in discussion, Colin complains about how confusing the English language is.
I mean, it is kind of confusing.
I mean, for transliteration purposes, because no one can decide on method, but
right.
Pseudonym.
So Star Wars. So Lego Star Wars is cool.
It's cool.
You know, it's also cool. A24.
A24.
And I watched Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, a film by directing duo Daniels.
You saw every A24 movie, the way you say.
I actually think I have seen most of the A24 movies, and they're actually all pretty much great.
Because you saw did you
I've
see
seen Midsommar, I've seen Hereditary, I've seen Under the Silver Lake.
See, I would watch Hereditary. I just don't want to be sad the whole night.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be that bad.
Same thing with Midsummer. Midsummer's pretty fucked up too.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them have some random like depressing shit happen in the beginning, basically.
This movie, however, I will say, because sometimes you look at an A24 movie and it's like, this looks good, but it also looks like I might be fucked up afterward.
That's most of them.
You're not going to be fucked up afterward. I think you'll actually be quite happy. If anything, you might think about the world differently, just because the way that it is very much a character-driven story. It's not so much about, like, any larger part of the world. It's just, I mean, kind of is, because
it's about the
it takes a character-centric story and through a multiverse tale, which is really becoming a genre at this point, given the...
there's only been two, hasn't there?
Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, just saying that there's been more and more. It's kind of like how tends to be a lot of time loop stories nowadays. People like really start to do a lot of time loop stories, and lately a lot of people have been doing multiverse stories.
But like I've only heard of like two. Personally, I've only heard of the two.
It's just a trend I'm noticing.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
like, so through this multiverse framework, they kind of have this really touching story about, you know, kind of what it means to be alive when you get caught in thinking about all the things you could have been and all the things you could be. And it is another in a long line of films. Colin and Ben were talking about this at one point, how there's a lot of films, especially kids films nowadays, that are being made by like kind of like our generation or the generation right before us.
Mm-hmm.
That's like people will like talk about Encanto, or they'll talk about what was that other one that was like about like Dia de los Muertos, that one Disney Coco. They'll talk about these films, and it's like, yeah, the most unrealistic thing about these movies is that like the parents apologize.
Yes. It's like what did it say? I think about Encanto. I think they're like, that's the most unrealistic thing. The abuela apologizes or some shit like that.
Yeah, and especially it's like, and like Turning Red too is another example of that. And like, and now this, it's like there's a lot of movies that are it's like people are using the art to basically like live out their fantasy of like their really strict parents apologizing to them.
But in the same way, it's teaching those kids to actually apologize to their own kids.
This is true.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's very positive. And it's just funny that it's happening all at once, like
everywhere. Or everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah. They actually divide the film up into acts based on that title as well.
So first there's everything.
And then everywhere.
And then it's everywhere. And then it's all at once.
It's really cool.
It's interesting.
It's very
A24.
Mm-hmm.
They just know how to do shit.
And
I can't explain it. They're like, all the movies they make are usually pretty good.
Because they break the mold, I feel like, of typical movies nowadays.
Well, that's the thing. You have like people who are like Martin Scorsese with the like Marvel movies aren't actually aren't cinema, and it's like I get it in that you're saying it's not like pushing the boundaries, I guess, in a way. Yeah. But at the same time,
they are movies. But something I have noticed, and I find myself agreeing with him a lot more as time goes by, because like I don't look at like you really need to look at the behind the scenes of like the last like 5 big MCU movies.
They're all like green screen.
It's so demoralizing. It's like I remember like when
I looked up the behind the scenes of No Way Home. That looked pretty cool.
That scene on the highway, like you look at that in the movie and you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm sure they shot this on a highway." No, they didn't.
What are you talking about? Which
in
movie?
No Way Home.
On the highway.
Where
highway.
Trying to get the.
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's like the suggestion of a highway, and then they just put up these blue walls everywhere, and they put auto on just wires.
But, all right. So okay, if you want to say that, so why is that bad though?
It's the oversaturation of it. It's the fact that, like...
But if you can't tell if you didn't watch the behind the scenes, why does it matter?
That just means that somebody's really fucking good at that job. See, because I go into that with the same thing as animation, whereas animation is literally, if you were to take that, but just make it all, just take away the real people.
But here's the thing, because it's not so much that I see that and then it begins. It's, I see it, and it gives me context as to why I watched, like, the third act of Shang-Chi and wondered why it felt really lifeless. And then I'm like, it's because if I look at a behind-the-scenes shot of Simu Liu, like, in front of the blue screen, it's like, I can't even tell you what part of the movie they are filming. Because they'll have, like, Endgame, it was supposed to be in, like, the final fight was supposed to be in the forest outside of the Avengers compound.
I remember that.
You can see it in the BTS, and then they were just like, not only is the blue screen going to be edited, we're going to take the stuff that is physically there, and we're going to remove that.
But see, the reason that I'm fine with that is the same way that animation has the freedom to do whatever the fuck it wants. And that now and here, yes, they could technically keep with the forest, but obviously they decided, well, we think a destroyed industrial complex is going to work better for our final fight instead of a forest. It just gives them the freedom, I feel like.
But even when they have these visual effects artists working their asses off, and sometimes they do great work. Doctor Strange looked beautiful, but, like, Spider-Man No Way Home is not a film that I look at and I think, this is, like, a really pretty film.
There are a few iffy moments.
There are iffy moments, but there's also really nice moments where I can 100% know was all CGI.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I think that if they gave it like 3 more months in the oven, some of those effects would have been way better.
Widow.
Well, you could also blame that on COVID largely.
I was gonna say you could blame that on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, but like Batman, for instance, that was filmed during COVID.
Yeah,
it was filmed during COVID, and that was a very different kind of production philosophy.
That's true.
And my biggest thing is that, like, it's okay if they did it they did it once or twice and did it all different kinds of variations. But if I have to see one more shot of some Oscar-winning actor sitting in a blue chair against a blue background, holding, like, with some kind of blue accoutrement on his arm, that is going to be whatever robotic thing they're going to add in post-production. It's like when they had the shots of, like, Ian McKellen has famously said that he didn't like working on the Hobbit movies because instead of having a practical set, like, you look at the behind the scenes of him in not Frodo, in Bilbo's, like, house, technically the same house, but you get what I mean. And it's just him sitting down and everything is green. Everything is green around him.
Well, you know, I get it, but I understand why it's moved towards that more. And that, especially in the amount that Marvel has been making movies, I feel like they have to, unfortunately, take those shortcuts.
It just comes at the cost of ideas and camera movements and shots and directions.
But not really, because you could do that all afterwards.
But
that's what I'm saying. Technically, CGI, you can do where the fuck you want it, if it's good enough.
But then that's digital art. Then like that. But I'm talking about, like, the death of proper cinematography. I'm talking about the death of creative, practical filmmaking. I don't know
if it's death. It's more of an evolution.
Yeah, but it is. It is when somebody at a local theater can't see everything everywhere all at once. But Spider-Man No Way Home is playing for its 5th consecutive month. Because we're prioritizing these big blockbusters instead of the art house shit.
This is true. However,
but that's more of your personal interest. I would
correct.
say.
I wouldn't blame that on the movie itself more than I would blame that on just.
I'm blaming it on the industry.
Yeah, you blame that on the industry.
And that's the thing.
But I wouldn't say I would blame Marvel specifically for that. I mean, it's not their fault that they're making successful movies. Yeah. It's like you can't just blame the movie for it when they're just making the movies that they know their fans want. So I can't just say, yes, it's not. I can't consider that a movie because the industry is fucking all the other.
It's no one person's fault. I think it's also, I think people can get too content with mediocrity. Like we should
agree with that.
We should really be asking more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And here's the thing: we experiment sometimes, but then when they experiment, it's like we get the Eternals. And I know you like it, I think it's decent. Well, actually, I don't. But
it's all right. It's not like it's spectacular,
and it certainly had certain elements where I was like, okay, this is like different. You can tell they shot on location, but also like it feels like Chloe Zhao won her Oscar and then just forgot how to tell a story. Like it's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like I don't know that the Eternals had its own problems in that, but I feel like if she is given either a second one, now that she basically just got all the fucking origin shit out of the way, I think it'd be completely different.
I think they have to at this point. If they put Blade in the post credit, then I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something again.
So last episode,
as we discovered. Yeah, my dad had heard about that, by the way. We just never talked about it. Like,
that's funny.
Like I told him, he was like, "Yeah, I heard something about that." Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's where like I agree with you to an extent, to where yes, we're getting too complacent with mediocrity in these comic book movies, but I personally don't feel that's really on Marvel's front. It is kind of like, unfortunately, Black Widow, I thought meh.
Like a Phase 1 Marvel movie.
Yeah, but it was meh. To me, personally, it was very meh. But, COVID came to that, a bunch of other stuff came to that. But like stuff like Let There Be Carnage, I think that was mediocre. And I think it was wildly successful for being mediocre.
Right.
And then Morbius is, as far as I know, doing well for some reason, even though I keep hearing about how terrible it is, and I haven't seen it yet, so I guess I can't say anything.
Well, I don't know if it's doing, like, well, but I think it's...
Well, okay, yeah, I'm not saying it's, like, doing spectacular, but I know it made, like, fucking, like, $90 million in its first, like, opening weekend.
I mean, the major reasons that I get... Like, I'm big about... I just want movies that feel like it was a director's vision. Like, I can watch the first 20 minutes of Ant-Man and be like, yeah, I can definitely see Edgar Wright, some of his influence before he left the project. Yeah. I'm very excited for Doctor Strange because I can see these wild fucking dolly shots of the camera going in on Doctor Strange's face, or like Zombie Strange when there's that one new commercial that they had where there's a shot of him going like, and it was just like tilting his head upward, and I was like, that is some Evil Dead shit right there. I'm so fucking excited. That's another thing. Like, back at Spider-Man 2, those Doc Ock's like arms, they were practical. They looked incredible. And even when they were digital, this CG still holds up really well.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I feel like, and that's where you get the trade-off in that. Wow, I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
Oh,
Molina.
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina. I remember him saying that, like, the technology, like, he really likes how it advanced because it opens him up to do more.
Right.
Whereas before, he's limited. Like, yes, it's practical and it's cool because you have this all practical effect and what goes into it is cool. But at the same time, he's like, it limited my performance because I'm weighed down by all this stuff, basically. But so it's a double-edged sword.
It is. That being said, like, him being weighed down by it also, it lends something to a performance because you have a realistic perception of weight.
But it also depends on what you're focusing on. So if you're a director and you're saying, hey, I want to make a comic book movie where people are moving fast, they're doing all this crazy shit, you don't want this person to look like they're going slow when he should be trying.
But you can do it. You can do it.
But you generally have to do that in post, and you have to change it anyway.
Not always. You can do the camera tricks. You can have these and stuff like that.
But at the same time, you could argue they do the tricks of the eye with the digital stuff.
It's true.
I'm just saying that.
And therefore, it's not a trick of the eye. It's more of just the digital
I'm
artistry.
saying that I've been incredibly disappointed with their digital effects work as of late.
I will say there's definitely iffy shots in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Black Widow has very iffy shots at the end. Literally, some looks like fucking like Tomb Raider video game ass shit.
I feel like don't insult Tomb Raider like that.
No, but some of it, I mean, it did, but the trailer shit.
Yeah.
But
anyway, but the way I was going with this is that I love shit like The Batman or Everything Everywhere All at Once because I hunger for films that aren't afraid to, not only do the stunts practical, not only do like all of this, really be creative with the way that they shoot it and have shots that are composed, that feel like they are composed on the day of shooting, as opposed to just being made through previs and then finished and cleaned up by an editing house.
I do see what you're saying. I just feel like there's visions, like, it's the same with animation in the way is that a director can have a vision in their head. For animation, you could literally draw that fucking line for line.
Mm-hmm.
But as a director, at least if you're doing live action, depending on what you're thinking, obviously if you're thinking more in terms of live action, probably what Chloe Zhao, how she kind of thought, because I feel like a lot of hers seemed more realistic in a way. Whereas if you're thinking more, okay, I want to be like the comic books, I want to feel more unrealistic because I'm making it more of a spectacular feel, I can see where these digital effects will help out more.
And that can be a factor. I also think, though, that it's about a balance, because you also have directors who can do. I think you have directors who can do both really well.
That's true.
That's the reason why I still love the Guardians films, because James Gunn is a director who knows his shit. I think a big key for me is that I want Marvel films where I feel like this is a movie that I could only get from this director. Like James Gunn, I think he's the only person who could give me that particular kind of Guardians film. Same with Jon Favreau doing Iron Man films. Even Shane Black doing Iron Man 3. Edgar Wright doing, the first 10 minutes or so of Ant-Man.
Which is great.
Which is pretty great. Him breaking into the house.
You need to watch the second episode of Moon Knight, because I feel like they lean a little bit more into that, but also, I'm not gonna lie, they do have CG stuff in that too. I mean, obviously,
I'm not entirely against CG.
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying.
It's not that because I still love and defend MCU when I hear people shit talking things that I like about the MCU. Yeah. I'm very wishy-washy about that. It's just, there's a lot of little things over a long period of time, and I really just don't want the medium of film to be homogenized to a point that we are sacrificing, talented... Daniels, the duo that did this film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, they were originally going to do Loki.
Right.
And then they decided not to do Loki because they want to do their own thing, which is make this rated R multiverse film about family coming together. And here's the thing, I still love Loki. I still love that show and what that show did. Could it have been better? Maybe, but honestly, maybe it's okay that the MCU does its own thing, because at the end of the day, do I want the creator's vision filtered through Marvel, or do I want the creator's vision? Yeah. It's a complicated... It's so complicated.
You have a lot of different factors that go into it. I just feel like, overall, I just don't feel like I can blame Marvel and the Marvel movies for the focus of that. Right. I think it's more of the industry. Yeah. So I feel like just saying Marvel movies themselves aren't movies or aren't true cinema, I see where you're coming from. Yeah. I just feel like it's more of people are just angry at the fact that they're doing so successful. All these other movie studios are like, hey, let's try to do fucking that, basically. And I feel like that's where more of the issues are.
I'll phrase it like this. If you'd asked me, what I thought about the MCU's eligibility to win awards in 2016, I probably would have been very excited to tell you that I think that some of those films should have been nominated. Around circa the time of, Civil War and shit like that, I was more than ecstatic to tell people how brilliant these action films were. But time goes on, the market, I also start watching more kinds of movies. I start to kind of reevaluate the things that I get excited about when I hear about new movies. Right. I start thinking about, the production end of things more. It's like when I got into animation.
Yeah, when I do you go deeper into it.
Ever since, I've started to get into it, and when I started blog writing, I've really started thinking more about... It's funny that animation helped me get more into film, because I started thinking, it's like, okay, well, we have our animation director. Who's doing the animation direction? Who's doing storyboarding? Who's doing music? I started to think more about the people that make up the production. That's one of the reasons why I was very excited about Venom 2. It wasn't just that Andy Serkis was directing. It's like you had the cinematography from the guy who did cinematography for like all of like Tarantino's movies, like Kill Bill or like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And so it was just like, oh, I mean, well, I'm excited to see how this film looks in terms of how it's shot. And I mean, at the very most, when there was action, at least I could tell what was happening this time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Except when it was a tornado. But
true.
But then, like, you know, it's a lot. You know, I didn't expect us to get into a conversation about the fate of the film industry, and this is already running a bit long, but...
The point is, A24, light in the shining.
Yeah.
Light in the darkness.
This is...
light shining in the dark is what I was trying to say, but...
One of these weeks we do need to do, like, a legit formal review, because so far we've kind of just gone on about certain things without really giving a review of things. I'll say it. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Great film. If you can go watch it, watch it. I don't know how limited of a release it's going to be, but I don't think it's a film that you want to miss. If you're a fan of, like, old school, you know, kung fu films, Michelle Yeoh having the storied history that she has in that genre, you do not want to miss her, you know, shiny moment here. Also, her husband is played by the guy who played Short Round in Indiana Jones.
Why are you laughing?
What was the second one called? Temple of Doom.
Yeah, come on. Ask the. What are you looking at me for? Ask the archaeologist.
I asked him. I looked at him.
Oh, I looked at me.
But yeah, and he's fucking badass.
The questions Colin's been waiting for his entire life. Something archaeology.
Yeah. Someone actually wants to know
history. Talking about bones.
But yeah, I think it's a phenomenal movie. I definitely got emotional. It's not like it's not a film that you'll go into and necessarily it'll take you out of your comfort zone at times. Not because it gets like too deep or uncomfortable, but because it can get very weird and very comfortable with how weird the multiverse can be.
If you watch Rick and Morty, you get how weird the multiverse can be, right?
100%. So, yeah, I'd say it's a pretty cool film.
Also, go watch Green Knight.
And also, we'll go watch Green Knight. That's another A24 movie.
Yeah, Green Knight's good. If you're looking for something kind of weird, but if you look into it, it's kind of interesting, Under the Silver Lake. Interesting movie. Has Andrew Garfield as main character.
Ooh. Yeah. There were 2 trailers for A24 movies before the movie happened, because we saw I saw the trailer for Men, starring Jesse Buckley, and then what was the other one?
The alien abduction one. No, that wasn't.
No, that's the guy.
That's the Jordan Peele film.
Jordan Peele. I always want to say Key Peele.
I don't know if it was A24. There's a movie called Duel starring Karen Gillan of Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Who fame. I'm trying to.
Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula. Oh yeah, it's out. Fuck yeah, this
is it A24?
It is not A24. I must have been thinking of something.
I don't care about it then. I'm just kidding.
It's great. It's basically this woman has a terminal illness, and in this society, when you have a terminal illness, you can have yourself cloned, and the clone can live out your life for you while you're gone. So that
interesting.
But then
I always like that kind of stuff.
But miraculously, she finds out that she's no longer dying. But that also means that she has to duel her clone to the death in a year. So Aaron. So
it's like Green Knight.
So Aaron Paul plays this guy who basically is training her to kill her clone, who's like already like stealing her life.
That's wild.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
Have you ever seen? I think it's called Living with Yourself.
The Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I've not seen.
It's also about clone, but it's more of a comedy. But it was
like a dark comedy. I remember hearing about that. Does anyone have anything else to talk about or promote?
No.
Instagram, follow us.
Oh yeah, well I post occasionally.
The Critical Spectrum. You can also follow us on Twitter at. Is that what it is? I'm on Twitter right now. I can check. At the Crit Spectrum. I don't know why.
I don't know. Just give away our password, bro. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't. Please keep that clap.
Okay. Yeah. I'll bleep it just for you.
7 plays, 7 people.
Oh,
7 people.
This is for you.
This is for you, 7 people.
my friend Nate was very excited that the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What are you saying like that for, bro?
I'm just saying, I'm honored.
We're professionals here.
That he was excited about it.
He said I was very happy to see the notification pop up that they were back. So yeah, we're at the Crit Spectrum on Twitter. I don't post nearly enough. I'm too busy posting on my normal account and my NSFW account. No nudes of me yet. So
should we have
cool
Sal
down.
on next week?
We should have Sal on.
Shit.
I don't know. I don't know.
What a day though. We have to have a slot on there.
Yeah, Monday or Tuesday. We haven't I don't know a set schedule for releases, so it'll come out when it comes out, and especially the video versions. I haven't even figured that out yet.
We're Side P. We're chill here. Listen to it whenever it comes out. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, y'all are excited. Yeah.
Keep you on your toes. You'll never know when it's coming out.
As Colin said last time, see you on the flip side.
Oh my god.
Yes, you did.
Or did I say
the fact that you... No. Because we were talking and Colin was exhausted and he was just like, see you on the flip side.
I'm going to be honest, my fucking memory is getting
Are you
worse.
sure you didn't take edibles that night?
Yes.
Yes, you took them, or
no,
yes,
I
you're
did
sure
not.
you didn't?
I'm sure I did not. I swear. My memory is getting fucking worse. I swear.
You know what?
Maybe you don't.
Before we sign off, I remember now that there was a time when my dad was getting so annoyed with his mother, my grandmother, because he found out that all these different fucking stories that she had that she'd never told him, like, oh yeah, I met JFK once or something like that, and she just have all these fucking stories, and then also me and my sister were shook because we found out, I was like, wait, you saying our family has a history of Alzheimer's?
Oh shit!
So it's like, imagine, what a way to find out.
And then the worst thing is she goes.
There's so many things we have to get cut. There's so many things we have to cut.
Leave that in.
Just leave it.
No.
Leave the last two.
Okay, all right. See you guys next week. Love y'all. And bye.